Hey everybody, Brian Von VA here. Do you have a party with that one guy or gal who just wants to be different? You know, the evil aligned one? Yeah, today's topic is, why do so many D&D DMs disallow evil alignments? The reason dungeon masters often ban players from evil alignments is due to a lack of faith in the player's ability to play the evil alignment without disrupting the party. This is especially the case when you are the DM for younger and more immature groups who have a very bland black and white concept of what evil is. Now personally, I never ban a whole alignment, but I do occasionally ban individuals from playing a certain alignment. Some people prove they are unable to be anything other than maniacal kick the dog evil, and if that's going to impact the fun of my players, then we'll have to have words about it. Now, you can successfully play an evil alignment. One player in my game had an affably evil cult leader. He essentially faked a whole religion so he could harvest the power of prayer for his clericalness. Not only was it a really interesting concept, but it was an evil the party could tolerate. One of my own characters was a lawful evil bard called Justinian. He was best described as an anti-theist who felt he had been betrayed by the gods and had a tremendous stick up his ass about it. He was a highly charismatic character who was unfathomably ugly and would charm people to like him. He would also wear a mask and act seductive to purposefully horrify people. He also commemorated people when they died by eating parts of them. The thing that made him not a wrecking ball was that he was responsible and dependable. He'd occasionally roll his eyes at the goody two-shoes characters, but he didn't go out of his way to cause chaos. He was also really articulate and persuasive, but would back down if things were making a character uncomfortable. More often than not, to do them later out of sight, out of mind. There's lots of subtle ways to play evil that aren't big gestures. Evil is a very ambiguous concept, and the alignment chart really doesn't do it justice. As long as the character's motivations are messed up, you can have them do good things and cooperate. I have had to do a blanket ban of evil alignments at my table for the following reasons. Number 1, I am from a different age of gaming. Now, what I mean by that is, simply put, it was clearly understood that the game was about adventurers working together to solve some problem that was established at the beginning of the play. And for some reason, many of the younger players, meaning they're not the typical old guy 35 plus, hey, I'm 33, what the hell, don't have that same sense of cooperation. I'm not attempting to pass judgment on any age or group, it is just the experience I've had during my years of running Adventurers League, and you're not wrong. In my experience, many players use the alignment system to be dicks. Sorry, folks, you're not a dick because that is what the character would do. You're choosing to act like a dick and make excuses to validate your behavior. Also true. By banning evil alignments, it helps encourage more cooperation between players as they begin holding each other accountable for behavior. It should tell you something that I have to have a house rule called a teamwork award. Something I never needed during second and early third editions of D&D. Okay, so the basics are, if you behave in a way that encourages cooperation, you got a special reward. Points to be used to purchase magical items or bonus treasure. The players also have the option of rewarding another player a point for teamwork behavior, but that reward has to be given by majority of players. I hope your experiences have been different than mine, and welcome comments or replies that shows me that behavior is mostly localized. Playing evil characters in a party that averages towards good can be difficult to manage, is the short and simple of it. It requires a good group, a good DM, and most of all, a good player who knows how to be evil without being unfun. Well, the long version is, here's some of the most common reasons, but I'll add ways to get around them or deal with them. Stupid evil. There's a stupid version of every alignment, and the stupid version of evil is the evil that kicks puppies and kills innocents purely because they're evil. Ooh. They feel the need to remind everyone of how evil they are by doing evil things that serve no apparent purpose. This often goes hand in hand with chaotic stupid, creating the terrible reputation chaotic evil has for being stupid. It is very hard to do any campaign with a stupid evil character. Even evil campaigns break down if someone is just going around chopping people's heads off for a laugh. There's no real way to deal with a stupid evil character aside from just toning it down or reworking the idea. Motivating evil. You can probably assume the party is at least on average good. They will want to do, well, good things. A party of heroes can be expected to save Farmer Joe from the marauding bandits because it's the good thing to do, even if Joe is a literal dirt farmer and has nothing to offer them, basically being poor as dirt. Evil is a harder sell. Evil is self-interested. It wants something. Farmer Joe better have something evil wants, or evil's probably not going to care. The solution then is to make evil that has obvious things to care about. Cunning evil might recognize the value and goodwill that good deeds bring, or maybe what they're really after isn't money or material goods, but something else. Apathetic evil. Tying into the last point, there's also the issue of why is evil man bad guy working with Puppy Kisser the Hopeful and her merry band of angelic adventurers? And whilst there's lots of different reasons, very basically, created evil characters will find it harder to justify. Evil characters tend to fall more towards the lone wolf McBroody stereotypes, the kind that befalls people who don't seem to understand that D&D is a cooperative storytelling game, and we didn't all get together on this fine afternoon to listen to someone narrate their edgelord fantasies. We're looking at you, Dante. I get around this particular issue by outright stating to everyone that you either come up with a character who has a reason to join the party or don't come at all. It's not hard to make evil characters who nonetheless see value and reason with working with the party. It might be, I'm safer with allies. It might be, just because I'm evil doesn't mean I can't have friends. It might even be, what a bunch of gullible idiots. But nobody likes playing with Lone Wolf McBroody. Good versus evil. Evil man, bad guy may be able to work with Puppy Kisser the Hopeful, but he might have a harder time with Angel Blade Demon Bane, the smiter of evil and vanquisher of petty crime. Paladins as a whole tend to lean towards the if it's evil, smite it side of things. That in itself can be a stereotypical way to play paladins, but with certain oaths in 5th edition, it's, well, basically a given. The Oath of Devotion paladin is probably not going to enjoy working with a grave-digging necromancer or a demon-binding warlock. Oaths of Ancients and Vengeance could feasibly go either way. Vengeance, after all, thinks little of abiding lesser evils versus the greater evil, and the others are decidedly more tolerant. This one takes a bit of cooperation with the party or the DM, but one of my favorite storytelling tropes is the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Put a bigger, badder evil in front of everyone, and with a little cooperation from the players, you can have a solid reason for even the most devout paladin to stay their hand for now. With the right group, it can even be a great source of tension and role-playing. For the simple reason that many people abuse the various evil alignments, or simply do not know how to play such alignments properly. These people believe, especially in the case of chaotic evil or neutral evil, that being evil equates to, my character can do what he or she wants, and if they do not like the campaign, scenario, DM other players, they will go out of their way to disrupt or damage the campaign or scenario by attacking or killing characters using their evil alignment as justification. These players use their evil characters as murder hobos or megalomaniac power-hungry mages. That equates to the evil alignments with stupid. A classic example of how not to play an evil character. So many campaigns and scenarios, etc. have been disrupted or ruined by evil-aligned characters being played in this way, after people have spent a lot of time and effort preparing the campaign or scenario that a lot of DMs, as a rule of thumb, have banned evil-aligned player characters. The same with chaotic neutral characters. In reality, such characters should not be played in that manner at all. But it's my character! I can play it if I want to! Is a common cry from such people who overlook the correct way that such a character would be played. They are supposed to be intelligent beings, not simply murdering machines. Evil characters can, and on occasion will, murder, but it is far better to manipulate the other players into doing what will work out best for the evil character than simply attempting to murder anything they see. This is especially true for lawful evil characters, and when the players succeed in saving the village, escorting the diplomat or whatever, they will get the kudos and popularity gained from doing it successfully as well as the other players. But because so many players use the evil alignments for the wrong purposes, a lot of DMs simply employ a house ban on evil characters. It really depends on the DM. My dad has been running D&D sessions since the Dark Ages, back when D&D was originally created and Ebola and the Plague were running rampant. As a general rule, he does not allow evil characters in his campaigns. Part of this is the evil asshole trope that too many players will follow. Just like playing a lawful stupid paladin, people think that an evil character must be stupidly selfish and do evil actions for the sake of being evil. For those of us who want to roleplay as real characters with realistic personalities, this will completely derail the party's cohesion and ruin a perfectly good adventure. Now, on the other hand, my dad doesn't usually like evil characters because too often you cannot realistically include them in his campaigns. The types of stories that he uses will typically follow campaigns and objectives that are supported by good aligned deities, or the types of suicide missions that only good characters would want to do. One of our campaigns, for example, follows a group of mercenaries covertly recruited by a city-state's ruling council to find and destroy evil artifacts. There are exceptions, of course. We've had a neutral evil warlock in one of our campaigns, but only because the player had put serious effort into why the character was evil and how he would fit into the party. Reading some of the other answers here honestly amazes me. I almost always run a campaign where at least one character in the party is of an evil alignment, and it went fine. It honestly makes me wonder what kind of asshats the other DMs had playing in their games. To give a counterexample from my own experiences as a DM about 8 years on and off, and most recently 3 years straight, where we completed 2 full campaigns, here's how having an evil character or two can actually contribute in an interesting way. First, evil doesn't mean maniac. We had a guy who was neutral evil, and he basically roleplayed as a guy who was mostly in it for himself. If helping the party served his goals, then that was fine, and if it didn't, he might conveniently decide not to reveal the healing potions or other useful items that he had. The fun part is that the other characters gradually learned to be wary of him. He was important for the story, often reluctantly, so there was a lot of negotiation when decision-making came along. Also, they would frequently question what he was up to when he was out of sight or where all the money had suddenly come from. Of note, I ran the game over Discord and we had a lot of private threads going for the various members, so there was quite a bit that no one revealed to anyone else at times. He might go ballistic sometimes, but not in a break the game, kill the whole town way. More like if an enemy was captured who hurt him in a fight, he might quietly make it seem like that guy committed suicide in the middle of the night, went missing, etc. Led to some interesting suspicions since no one could prove it was him. Anyway, the bottom line is that any alignment or mix of alignments can work provided your players act mature and are all invested in the world. Hey everybody, Brian Von VA briefly checking in after the vid. Please make sure to leave a like, subscribe, ring that bell, and of course leave a comment down below talking all about evil aligned characters and your thoughts on them. We love you all. Please be safe, happy, and healthy, and we will see you next time. Bye for now.